Okay guys, it is day 3 of the Booktubeathon. I have finished these two. I am on page something 65 of this one, and I have basically 4 3/4 to go. And what did I do today? What did I do? I made it 60 pages into this one. I did that. I did read today a little bit. It is about 5 o'clock right now, and I worked from 8 to 3. So I have all this evening to do some more reading. Whatever. The other thing that I did, which I'm very proud of, I bought The Princess Saves Herself in this one today by Amanda Lovelace, because I've heard so much about this one in particular, because I follow the author on Tumblr. Basically, I'm pretty sure what happened, and I see pictures of this and reviews of this and things about this like all of the time, and so finally I got it. I went to Target and I got it. I now have The Princess Saves Herself in this one, which is also probably a candidate for the Read a Hyped Book challenge for the Booktubeathon, because this has been so hyped to me in particular because I follow the author on Tumblr, and so I see things about it all the time, and I'm very excited about it. The cover intrigues me because it's so minimalist, and also it seems very feminist, which I love. So, that's the book update for the beginning of this video. The other portion of this video is gonna be me talking about how I recently rearranged my TBR shelves, because I did that. I mentioned this in my Booktubeathon TBR video. I was looking through my shelves, and I wasn't excited about, like, any of the things on my shelves. And I have this feeling in the back of my mind that's very much I want to read these books, and I don't want to get rid of these books. And I like owning them, and I like having them, and there are a lot of books that I feel like I own that I should read. But at the same time, I wasn't excited about any of them anymore. And so to try to get me excited about them, I spent an afternoon and reorganized everything so that I had those things, so that I had them fresh in my head, and they were in a different order, so I could try to find a new system to try to read them, because when I am not hyped about something, I try to systemize it, I try to organize it, and see if that helps at all. And a lot of the time it does help, so I'm gonna talk about that, because, you know, it's my life, and I can talk about what I want on my own YouTube channel. Alright, my room is really dim, so I've turned the light on my camera so that I can see what's happening. So, the first shelf of my TBR bookshelf starts on the top of this guy, and that is my books I have borrowed from people stack, which is my library books. Yes, I know, I have quite a few of them. And then books that I've borrowed from my friends, which there's only one of right now. The next shelf, this is mostly historical fiction. I'll be honest. It's mostly historical fiction. There's some other stuff. There's some, A Total Waste of Makeup is definitely just chick lit. And then there's also some, like, just, you know, contemporary literary fiction. We've got a Sherlock Holmes interpretation and some other, and then we've got The Zero Game and Lady Killer, which are, like, mystery thrillers. This particular shelf, the next one, this is my classics shelf. This is things that I feel like I should read, because as an English nerd, I feel like I'm supposed to, like, know about these things and have experience with them, so that's what that is. Over here, we have I accidentally only own part of this series. So we've got things like Perestroika from Angels in America. This is only part 2. I don't own part 1. I have books 2 through 4 in this series for some reason, so I don't know where book 1 is. A lot of these on this particular shelf are books that I feel like I can't read yet because I don't have the rest of them. So that's that shelf, I guess. Then coming down here, please ignore all of my mess. I am a mess. Anyway, down here we've got my nonfiction, and so this includes a lot of philosophical work, a lot of books that I have, or a lot of, so down here we have a lot of books on philosophy, sociology, literary theory books, a few memoirs, and theatrical theory, as well as play scripts. And then there's a few other random things. This is philosophy, When Sex Goes to School, and By the Book, which is just a lot of interviews with a lot of authors that I really like. Anyway, so that's that TBR shelf. Then, this is books that I want to get rid of over here, but behind that is some more, some of my fantasy books. These are series that I'm in the middle of, or that didn't fit on the shelf, really, and are just still on the floor. Anyway, now we move on to shelf number 2. The top of shelf number 2 is my I would like to reread this shelf. These are books that I have read before, but they are books that I want to read again since I have bought them for myself. A lot of them are books that I got at the library, and now that I have them for my own, I want to re-experience them a little bit. So, this is rereads. Then we have books that I'm technically in the middle of. So these are books that I've started, books that I am a good portion of the way through, and books that I put down at some point. So I'm like 3/4 of the way through this one, halfway through this, halfway through this, halfway through that, etc., etc. So like, this is all books that I've started, books that I need to give a serious chance before giving up on them completely. Because I don't want to give up on any of them completely. I do like the premises of all of them, and I want to, like, read them. Something about them at the time made me not. And then we have this, which is, more books that I'm in the middle of. Yeah. More books that I'm in the middle of, especially this stack of books I'm in the middle of, but also I'm rereading Dracula again, and The Casual Vacancy I put down a long time ago, but I want to finish it, because, like, I'm a completist like that, especially when it comes to JKR. And then, down here in this cabinet, we have more books! What a surprise! Okay, so we have, essentially I just stuck books in as they fit in these shelves, and this is a lot of my YA and sci-fi and fantasy. So we have this, I've tried to read Wicked so many times. I have the whole trilogy, and it just hasn't worked. And then this is my mass market paperback shelf, because it is the perfect size to fit those, and so it's double stacked, and that's like a whole heck of a lot of those. Whole heck of a lot. And then at the bottom we have more fantasy and young adult. Ugh. Okay, so that's our field trip done. That's the, like, overview of my TBR currently, like my grand scale TBR. I have so many books that I haven't read, so I'm trying to get myself rehyped for those, and I'm using the Booktubeathon and the Tome Topple Readathon that, the Tome Topple Readathon that she's hosting is coming up right after this, and I'm trying, I think, to use these to try to work on that, but also I've bought 3 new books in the last week, and so I'm really bad at this, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, that's all for today. Hope you're having a good Booktubeathon. I'll see you tomorrow.